July 6th, on this day, in 1348, during the devastation of the Black Death in Europe, Pope Clement VI issued a papal bull stating that Jewish communities were not to blame for the plague and encouraged their protection, countering widespread discrimination and violence. In 1415, John Hus, a Czech religious reformer who criticized corruption within the Catholic Church and anticipated the Reformation by over a century, was burned at the stake for heresy. In 1519, Charles of Spain was elected as Holy Roman Emperor in Barcelona, marking a pivotal shift in European power dynamics. In 1535, Sir Thomas More, an English humanist and statesman, was beheaded for refusing to accept King Henry VIII as head of the Church of England. In 1536, French explorer Jacques Cartier returned to France after his important voyage, during which he discovered the St. Lawrence River in present-day Canada. In 1685, King James II defeated James, the Duke of Monmouth, at the Battle of Sedgemoor, which was the last major battle fought on English soil. In 1770, the entire Ottoman fleet was destroyed by Russian forces during the Battle of Chesma, a significant event in naval warfare history. In 1775, the Continental Congress issued the Declaration of the Causes and Necessity of Taking Up Arms, written by Thomas Jefferson and John Dickinson. The declaration listed American grievances against British rule, but denied any intention of seeking independence. In 1777, British General John Burgoyne captured Fort Ticonderoga from American forces during the Revolutionary War, gaining a strategic advantage for the British. In 1785, the Congress of the United States unanimously resolved to name the national currency the dollar and adopted a decimal-based coinage system, shaping the future of American money. In 1788, unrest in Paris escalated as the government deployed 10,000 troops to control mounting anger among the poor, who faced persistent poverty and food shortages. In 1835, John Marshall, the third Chief Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court, died at age 79. In his honor, the Liberty Bell was tolled in Philadelphia, an act that caused the famous crack. In 1836, French General Thomas Bugeaud defeated the forces of Abd al-Qadir beside the Sikak River in Algeria, marking a significant moment in France's colonial conquest of North Africa. In 1854, the Republican Party was officially organized at a meeting in Jackson, Michigan, signaling the rise of a new political force in the United States. In 1885, Louis Pasteur administered the first successful anti-rabies vaccine to 9-year-old Joseph Meister, saving his life and paving the way for modern vaccination. In 1893, British Prince George, Duke of York, later known as King George V, married Princess Victoria of Teck, who would become Queen Mary, at St. James's Palace in London. In 1907, Frida Kahlo was born in Mexico. She would become renowned for her intense, vividly colored self-portraits and her profound influence on modern art. In 1912, the 5th Summer Olympics officially opened in Stockholm, Sweden. This event introduced the photo finish and automatic timing devices for track competitions and marked the first occasion representatives from all 6 continents participated. In 1921, Nancy Reagan, who would later become First Lady of the United States and play a prominent role in American political life, was born. In 1923, the Central Executive Committee accepted the Treaty of Union, and the Russian Empire officially became the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, ushering in a new era in global politics. In 1927, Bill Haley, who would become a pioneering figure in rock and roll music, was born. In 1928, the first full-length, all-talking motion picture, Lights of New York, premiered in New York City, marking a major milestone in the history of cinema. In 1935, Tenzin Gyatso, who would become the 14th Dalai Lama of Tibet and a recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize, was born. In 1944, Lieutenant Jackie Robinson of the U.S. Army refused to give up his seat to a white man while riding a civilian bus in Texas, foreshadowing his future role as a pioneer for civil rights. In 1945, Operation Overcast began in Europe, moving Austrian and German scientists and their equipment to the United States to support American scientific and military initiatives after World War II. In 1945, the film The Naughty Nineties, starring Abbott and Costello, was released. It is remembered for featuring their longest version of the iconic Who's on First comedy routine. In 1953, English actor Roger Moore, known for his future role as James Bond, married Welsh singer Dorothy Squires in Jersey City, New Jersey. In 1956, journalist Ben Bradlee, who would later become a prominent editor at the Washington Post during the Watergate era, married Antoinette Pinchot. In 1957, John Lennon and Paul McCartney met for the first time in Liverpool when Lennon's group, the Quarrymen, performed at St. Peter's Parish Church. This meeting marked the beginning of their legendary partnership in forming the Beatles. In 1957, American athlete Althea Gibson became the first black tennis player to win the Wimbledon Singles Championship after defeating Darlene Hard, breaking racial barriers in sports. In 1964, the Southeast African country of Nyasaland gained independence from Britain, changing its name to Malawi and joining the Commonwealth of Nations. In 1967, the Nigerian Civil War erupted when Nigerian forces invaded the secessionist state of Biafra, leading to a humanitarian crisis. In 1975, the islands of Comoros became independent after approximately 137 years of French colonial rule, officially forming the Union of the Comoros. In 1982, President Ronald Reagan agreed to contribute United States troops to the multinational peacekeeping force in Beirut, Lebanon. In 1995, Bosnian Serb forces launched an attack on Srebrenica, Bosnia and Herzegovina, resulting in the massacre of over 7,000 Bosniak boys and men, which became the worst episode of mass murder in Europe since World War II. In 2002, American tennis player Serena Williams defeated her older sister Venus Williams to win her first Wimbledon singles title, marking a historic moment in tennis. In 2006, Nathula Pass, a historic trading post on the ancient Silk Road connecting Tibet with India, reopened for trade after being closed since the Sino-Indian War of 1962. In 2013, Asiana Airlines Flight 214 crash-landed at San Francisco International Airport during its journey from Incheon, South Korea, resulting in 3 deaths and at least 190 injuries. This was the first fatal incident involving a Boeing 777 since its introduction. In 2020, Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes agreed to the largest contract for an athlete in sports history, signing a 12-year deal potentially worth $503 million. In 2023, singer Ricky Martin and Syrian-Swedish painter Jiwan Yos announced their decision to divorce after 6 years of marriage.
Subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's events.